Pow, and welcome back to the channel, MCU Collector 24. As always, my name is MCU Collector. Make sure you are following me on Instagram at MCU Collector 24. Here in this review video, I have a special mailbox pickup all the way from across the pond. Shout out to It's Dan Who. Link in the video description below for his YouTube channel and Instagram. He hooked it up with the Avengers GamerVerse Outback Hulk. This is exclusive to GameStop here in the US. It hit overseas, so Dan was nice enough to send this out, so I appreciate it, brother. Thank you so much. Your Jurassic Park set is shipping out soon, so let's get on with the review. Pow! Pow! Here is the Hulk figure in package. Shout out to Dan Who again for hooking me up. Link in the video description below to his Instagram and YouTube channel. So here is the Hulk. So we'll get to it. Marvel GamerVerse Avengers Hulk. We got the Avengers logo up there and then a hang tab so you can hang it, I guess, because at GameStop that's what they're going to be doing. Side artwork the same as the other single release figures for the game. Back of the package we get a good shot of the Hulk, and it looks like he has green eyes there, but I didn't notice that on the figure. We'll have to take a look at that. So I think that's something where Hasbro kind of dropped the ball and didn't really do it. The bio reads, Hulk, Bruce Banner smashes anything in sight as the Gamma-powered Hulk. So, interesting. Let's get this thing open. Okay, here is the Hulk figure out of the package. Now, yes, it is the same as the Hulk Build-A-Figure. The body is the same. The only difference is we get these added little arm bands, the tattered looking... Well, actually, it looks like it was from his shirt, but tattered, because I see kind of the button right on the cuff there. So, I guess that was his shirt. So that's kind of interesting. Nice little detail that I didn't notice until literally just now looking at it right in the corner. I'll try and get in close so you guys can see that. But that's the only change up from this Build-A-Figure. And then we get interchangeable hands. So we have 2 open hands, and then we have 2 fists for this guy. Whereas the Build-A-Figure only came with 1 open hand, and I don't remember what the other hand is, because I got the gauntlet on him. So, not sure. And then, of course, new head sculpts. Different color. Let's zoom in close. Okay, so getting in close, I had mentioned about his eyes, and yes, he actually does have green in his eyes. I didn't notice that before. And then the beard kind of has a brownish color to it as opposed to the black of his hair. So that's a nice little added detail that, you know, not everyone's beard happens to be the exact same color as their head. I guess most of the time it's that way, but even like for me, I have very dark brown hair that looks black, but my beard, I have a lot of brown copper color hair in there. So it's just kind of a little interesting thing. Then you could see all the kind of the war paint that he has going on there. Not exactly sure what the context of the video game is for this guy. What I'm thinking is that it's going to have something to do with them going into exile or leaving because something major happens. Captain America dies, and then all the Avengers go into hiding or something. They're gone for years, and so I think that's going to have something to do with it. So maybe during that time he goes out in the Outback or whatever it happens to be, wherever he goes, and that's kind of what's happening there. So I have to turn off the light. We'll take a look at it. The war paint looks good. It has kind of a faded look to it, but I guess that would make sense if you're applying it on there. You know, it's just body paint that you're putting on there. It shouldn't be super clean or anything. So it has that nice look, but with that comes, if there's any paint flaws, it's not necessarily something that you would notice. There's no clean lines, so that kind of works out. But it looks to be applied nicely, except the fact that there's nothing on the back. So we get this the paint that goes up here onto the shoulders, and then it just stops. So that's a little tough when it just stops and doesn't keep going. Here on the arms, those look good. See if we can get in close so you can see that cuff right there on that arm piece. So it's not just like a wristband or some bandage or anything, some kind of wrist wrap. It was actually like a long collared shirt. So, you know, that's interesting. You know, we get the tattered up shirt with the comic Hulks. Now we got the sleeves to go with it. So that's a nice little added touch. He's just wearing black pants, as you can see there. And then he's got the same Hulk feet, which again, I still think are a little bit smaller for this figure. I think bigger feet would have helped him balance a little bit more because he is quite large, but you know, it is what it is. But there's the one head sculpt that's kind of that angry face Hulk, and that looks pretty good with the hair kind of drooping over. He comes with a calm, a more relaxed head, so let's pop that off, and you can see it's on the dumbbell type peg system. And then we have that relaxed face there, and I think this one looks really good as well. So I get another light so you could shine on there, and that looks pretty good. And then the beard's the same color. We get that war paint kind of applied in the same way, except he's got more on his mustache portion compared to the other one. As you can see, not nearly as much. But I think the head sculpts look really, really good on this guy. So that's definitely the highlight of the figure. And it's a really good Hulk figure. You know, it's not the comic. We don't get the butterfly joints, but it's still a really good size. It's interesting. Now, a lot of people have been shitting on this figure because they just don't think it looks good. They think it's ugly, but I think we need to wait for the context of the video game to really get the full judgment. So let's zoom out and take a look at his articulation. Okay, so Hulk's articulation with that dumbbell joint, because we don't have a hinge, you don't get a lot of range. So looking down, that's it, which is basically straight out. You can do that, and that's as high up as you can look. So it gets limited with that type of system, but you get some natural neck movement in there. So look at that pivot going there. You get the rotation. So that's the benefit of that type of joint. So, you know, I guess I can't be too mad at it. You get the shoulder to go up that high. You get full rotation, of course. You get the upper bicep swivel there. We get a double jointed elbow, which gives us just a little bit more than 90 degrees. So I like that. Wrist swivel, and they hinge, and then this wrist sleeve portion is just an added rubber piece, so you can turn it around. You can move it if you pop the hand off as well. Diaphragm rocker joint, so you can pivot to the side that much. You can pivot to the other side that much, like so. You can go back a little bit, and then you can go forward that much, a little hunched over, so that's good. We get a waist swivel there. Legs go out that far apart, which is pretty good. He can kick forward that high, so not a huge amount, but I don't know that Hulk could really ever get that high up. Leg goes back a little bit. You got an upper thigh cut there. Double jointed knee, which gives you that much bend, which isn't a huge amount, but you know, he's got some thick legs, so it's really hard to get him to do that. Foot hinges down only so much. Up tiny bit. We have ankle pivot, and you have peg holes at the bottom of the feet. So I think pretty good articulation for a Hulk figure. I have no complaints with it. I happen to like the design. It's something different and new. I know there's an Outback Hulk from the comics. You know, people are comparing this to like House of M Hulk. So it's one of those things. But again, when we talk about the context of the video game, you know, how is it really going to look? And we don't know that yet until the video game releases, I believe, on September 4th. Okay, so here are the two Hulks side by side. You can see they're basically the same size given the way their heads are. I think this size head fits that body a little bit more than this head. I think this head definitely looks a lot smaller than it should. I know it's, you know, it's kind of tall and I guess narrow, but I think this head fits the size of the body a lot better. Now, someone asked, and I'm not really sure. See, these kinds of head swaps kind of trip me out. Like, why would you want this head swap? Because they're not the right color, right? So it just looks kind of weird, but I don't know. So it can be done. See, now with the different colors, you just see that, man, yeah, way too small. But let's see this Hulk next to the other figures in the GamerVerse line that actually go to the video game. Okay, so here is Hulk next to the other Avengers GamerVerse figures. So we have Captain America, Iron Man, and Ms. Marvel from the Abomination Build-A-Figure wave, and the Star Boost Armor Iron Man, the Target exclusive. Remember, I got mine from overseas, Daming Toys. This thing will be hitting Target any day now. Some Targets actually already have it, so be on the lookout for that. Now let's see Hulk next to Abomination. This is the size comparison we want to see, right? Hulk and Abomination, how well do they stack up? And you can see Abomination is a little bit taller, but he's a little bit more hunchbacked, but he's definitely bulkier all the way around. So as we kind of get that side-by-side shot, let's see. There, you can see, yeah, he's definitely a little bit taller, but he's just so much more bulky. You know, it's definitely nicer that we get this size comparison between the two as opposed to the comic Abomination that we got twice, which is undersized. But it's unfortunate that these are the game designs and not the comic ones that people are really going to want. So maybe Hasbro will release a comic accurate Abomination, because all they really have to do, and they can get away with it, is give us a new head sculpt. And don't be surprised that if Hasbro does does that, because this is basically a Build-A-Figure getting re-released in a deluxe line. They've done it several times. It's bound to happen, I am sure, but they look good together. So I don't know if this design will be up against Abomination in the video game. Time will tell, probably, because I'm probably sure you can unlock skins and then maybe change the skins at any point. We'll see. One more comparison, actually 2 more comparisons before we wrap things up. Okay, Hulk next to the Marvel Legends Stan Lee figure, and it's just, I mean, you put him behind it, you ain't gonna see Stan Lee. So huge difference between the two, but there is Stan Lee Excelsior, and I can't get him to stand now. Stan the man, can't stand. Okay, last comparison, we got some Grey Hulk action going here. So we have the Avengers GamerVerse and the comic Grey Hulk. This was the global convention exclusive that went fan channel and everything. The size comparison is pretty crazy. They look to be about the same height, but just the proportions are insane. Like, look at his arms and legs, and that head looks small. Now, I don't know why I'm looking at everything. Everything looks like they got tiny heads now with this new Hulk. But there are the two. He's definitely a darker gray, where he is a lighter gray with that kind of a bluish hue to him. And then he had painted nails and stuff, but this new figure does not have any painted nails whatsoever. Okay, so final thoughts on the Hulk figure. I'm very happy to have it. I love the kind of the specific designs when it comes to movies, when it comes to the games and everything. So this one really stands out to me. I really do like it. The head sculpts, I think, are a big win for this figure, and then I like the added touch of these on his wrist, not just being wrist wraps, but being actually the ripped, tattered shirt that he was probably originally wearing when he hulked out. So I really like this. The head sculpts, again, are just amazingly done. Pass on the figure, whatever you want to say about the figure. I think it's actually an all-around good figure to have. But again, we will see how everything fits in the context of the game. Will the game even be good? I don't know. I'm hopeful. I'm not much of a gamer. You know, the Spider-Man PS4 game was about as gamey as I get, and I love that game, so hopefully this Avengers game will be good. But you guys let me know down in the comments below what you think of this figure. Have you pre-ordered it with GameStop yet? Are you looking forward to the game? Please let me know. Also, please like this video, hit that thumbs up button, subscribe if you haven't already done so, and as always, thank you for watching.